So, good morning everyone. Welcome to another session natin sa Blood Bank here in Stellar Learning Hub. Once again, my name is Sir Dennis Luis Ambraza and I am your instructor or professor for this subject. Um, we are now in the module 5, so the topic will be more on the um, essentials of transfusion practices, especially pagdating sa donor selection. So that will be our topic for today. All right, so let's move on. So sa donor selection class, it is very important to have the proper documentation and also to verify the information. Kasi nga, any kind of misinformation can lead to the individual at risk. No? So, for example, mali yung nabigay or na-determine na blood type and kapag na-test na and then nabigay na din sa individual na nangangailangan, so possible na magkakaroon talaga ng hemolytic transfusion reaction. So in terms pa lang sa donor selection and preparation, bine-verify na natin lahat ng information, okay? Para before pa matanggap ni patient ang blood is that cleared na siya sa whole process pagdating sa pre-analytical at post-analytical phase. So, once again, the donor registration is a process that includes documentation, information that fully identifies the donor on an individual donation registration records. So, may tatlong phase yan, class. Sa donor selection and preparation, class, may tatlong phase yan. The first phase is yung donor natin will undergo the registration. Okay? Pagkatapos ng registration, there will be a medical assessment wherein he will be asked a series of questions kasi nga kailangan din ma-determine baka may travel history or baka may um, sakit sa patient, no? Kasi hindi natin maiwasan may gano'n talaga ah, na mga scenario. Okay, just like with our donation last year sa school is what happened is nagkaroon ng problem. So, uh, yun pala, may history si patient ng anemia and because he wanted to try the donor selection, ayun, na nagkaroon talaga siya ng anemia pagdating sa tawag dito sa donation. So, we as well as the medical technology and the one who also handle the process or the overall flow of the blood donation, we need to be careful. At the same time, we ask always the patient to be honest with us. Okay, so that's one thing that will avoid any kind of problem pagdating sa blood donation. Okay, aside naman sa medical history is, ayun nga, magkakaroon na ng sample collection. This is collection through blood bags. And yun nga, class, may mga student ako dati, like my previous student who are now RMTs, ang nangyari is at first is di sila natatakot but when we conduct the venipuncture like in the median talaga class, ayun, yung iba napa-shoutout. Shoutout sa iyo, sir. Yun, gano'n minsan. So, ayun yung nangyayari kasi nga medyo malaki yung needle pagdating sa blood bank. Okay, so move on. Sa donor registration class, we have the important fields that need to be filled up. Number one is the full name, the date, the time of donation, the address, the telephone number, also gender, age, and date of birth. Okay, sa date of birth class, ito may mga questions talaga pagdating sa pati na sa MTLE. Okay, the minimum for an allogenic donation is greater or equal than 16 years old. Okay, depending on the individual state requirements. Sa Philippines, it's around, okay, that will be 16 years old. So with the consent naman. However, wala namang upper limit age as long as kaya naman. But again, kapag mga nasa 60s or 70s na, minsan di na kasi may mga maintenance na yan, plus may mga maintenance. Tapos may mga sakit na. So they are not somehow allowed, depending on the assessment of the doctor. So ayun. But before that, let's try to identify the types of donation. No? Madami kasing type of donation kasi hindi lang yung parang yung pupunta lang sa school niyo or blood donation drive, ganon. So it depends. It depends on the situation that the person is having. So pag sinabi nating allogenic donation, okay, allogenic donation class, it is a blood donation plays into general inventory. Ito yung usually ginagamit sa mga blood drive. Pag sinabi nating directed donation class, ang directed donation, the donation is set aside for one identified recipient. Okay, specific lang siya. For example, dito class for the directed donation, those individual that are tagged or are confirmed as a RH negative. Okay? Or also, no, not RH negative. Sorry for that term, but O negative class. So sila usually sinisat aside yung mga bloods nila. Okay? Meron din tayong autologous donation. Pag sinabi nating autologous donation, blood collected from a person for that same person's future use. So, yun, isa din dito yung mga group O natin na negative. Okay? So, ayan, ginagamit ni autologous donation. So, we also have the pre-operative collection. For the pre-operative class, um, somehow, it is a process of 5 to 6 weeks immediately preceding a schedule. For example, may operation ka. Okay, may operation ka and then kailangan mo ng dugo. So, ilang weeks pa dapat is nakaroon ka na lang or nakapag-supply ka na ng dugo mo. Okay. Also, we have the normovolemic hemodilation. Okay, it is collection of whole blood with a concurrent infusion of crystalloid or colloid. But take note of the ratio na ginagamit with the crystalloid and the colloids. For the crystalloid class, that will be the 3:1 na ratio. For colloid, 1:1 na ratio siya. For intraoperative collection naman class, it is somehow collected. It is a type of collection wherein sa surgical during this surgery siya nangyayari, and then wino-wash siya with saline or debris para ma-free yung hemoglobin ng plasma. Yan yung ginagamit natin usually sa mga during the operation. For the post-operative naman class, collected from a drainage tube placed at the surgical site. So after the sa mga operation, dinidrain yung dugo natin. Okay, so may apheresis dito, but I will just move to another slide. So this is the more specific thing about the apheresis donation or collection. Okay, pag sinabi nating apheresis or pag sinabi nating apheresis class, only the specific component of blood is drawn and the rest is nire-return sa blood donor. So I have experience of this. One of my uncle whose father have rest in peace na, nagkaroon siya ng chemo and then kailangan niya ng platelet. So nung nag-donate ako, dalawang tusok siya, left and right. Pero ang nangyayari is that kinukuha lang yung platelet ko, but binabalik din yung other components. So, specific lang siya for platelet. So, ayun. So, we also have here other components. We have the plasmapheresis, the platelet pheresis, the leukapheresis, and the RBC apheresis. So, component to be removed, plasmapheresis class from the root word plasma. Okay, and the rest and follows. So, but nag-differentiate sila in terms of the frequency of the donation. Okay, pag plasmapheresis class, infrequent, that will be 4 weeks, and donor must weigh around greater than 110 pounds. For frequent naman, every 48 hours siya. Platelet pheresis, same lang with the frequent donation sa plasma. But dito for the RBC pheresis class, every 16 weeks or the 4 months siya. Ayan. Next is more on the physical examination. Sa physical examination class, we need to be careful kasi nga not only ang weight ang kinoconsider, but also the blood pressure. Okay, kasali dyan yung blood pressure. Okay, may mga may mga people kasi or individual that who wanted to donate at that time, pero ang nangyayari is that because they can see the needle and also they can see the blood flow, tumataas yung BP nila. So, ayan. So, hindi yan siya talaga naiiwasan pagdating sa ganun, no? So, aside from that class, aside from that, we also have the hemoglobin. Take note of hemoglobin class. These are usually questions in the MTAP, pati na sa MTLE. Ilan sa women, ilan sa men, and ilan sa autologous donor. For women class, we have 12.5 grams per DL. hemoglobin. For men, 13. For autologous, that's 11. Okay? Pagdating naman sa hematocrit, pag allogenic donation siya, the requirement for hematocrit will be 38 and for autologous is 33. Pero class, kapag sa mga blood drive is hindi natin siya ma-quantify, but we use the copper sulfate para ma-determine natin if pasado ba ang hematocrit. Okay? CuSO4 or the copper sulfate test. Sa copper sulfate kasi class, yung hemoglobin kasi natin, meron siyang specific gravity. Specific gravity of the specific gravity will be at 1.053 grams per dl. That is the specific gravity. If mababa pa ang hemoglobin mo, kapag mababa ang hemoglobin mo, somehow your blood will float at the top of the copper sulfate. Pero um, kapag mataas ang hemoglobin content ng RBC mo class, lulubog siya or magsisink yung blood mo. Okay, usually it is done by breaking at the same time yung parang a blue na solution. Okay, yun yung ginagamit pang determine sa hemoglobin. Okay, next. Next is more on the medical history. Okay, sa medical history class, we have the temporary deferral. We also have the permanent deferral. We also have the indefinite deferral. Okay. For the temporary deferral class, actually, ang temporary deferral, deferred ka lang or you are unable to donate at a limited period of time. Okay, usually dyan, if ever, nag-uminom ka ng aspirin, you are deferred for a certain hours. Okay? For the permanent deferral class, this is somehow na hindi ka talaga eligible na mag-donate. Bawal ka. So, in what cases you are tagged as a permanent deferral or your permanent deferred? Sa mga cases na nag-positive ka sa HIV, sa hepatitis B, sa hepatitis C, and so on and so forth, and other chronic diseases. Okay? For indefinite deferral class, somehow the term for permanent and indefinite, those are interchangeable depending on the case, no, kung ano siya. For the indefinite deferral, the donor is currently unable to donate due to the regulatory requirements. So somehow, yung permanent and indefinite are interchangeable siya, but depends on the case that you have. Okay? For no deferral class, may mga cases kasi na hindi tayo deferred, pero galing tayo sa vaccine na yan. So, for no deferral class, we have this following vaccine. We have the diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, hepatitis A and B, influenza, pneumococcal polysaccharide, polio, anthrax, cholera, para, paratyphoid, rabies, Rocky Mountain spotty fever, Lyme disease, or typhoid. So, ayun. So, these are the following vaccines that you are free na hindi ka matag as deferred. Okay? So, this vaccine kasi class, they are not this vaccine does not contain the live infectious diseases. No, sorry. This vaccine does not contain the live infectious agent, so they cannot impose risk, no, once ma-transfer yung blood unit mo. Therefore, yung mga individuals na naka-receive ng vaccine, they can donate blood, depende kasi sa requirement. No? Different state depende ang requirement. So, it really depends if eligible sila mag-donate after their vaccination. Okay? So, ayan. Next is sa mga temporary deferral tayo. Okay, for 48 hours, whole blood donation after hemophilesis, aspirin containing drugs, ayan, 48 hours ka deferred. Apheresis donation, we have the platelet, leukocyte, and granulocyte. 3 days naman sa mga individual na nag-take ng pero CCAM and also aspirin. Ayan. Aside from that, okay, we also have 2 weeks. So what are under the 2 weeks plus deferral? Smallpox vaccination, ayan. Measles, mumps, oral polio, typhoid, and also the yellow fever. Ayan, if ever may mga cases kanyan. So these are yung mga cases na pwede kang temporary deferred, okay? Next is 4 weeks. For 4 weeks, plasmapheresis, receive a live attenuated vaccine for German measles and also the chickenpox. Ayan. 6 weeks until termination of pregnancy. 8 weeks, allogenic whole blood donation. 16 weeks kapag double RBC apheresis donation, 17 weeks reactive for West Nile, and 1 year naman sa mga following. Okay, kapag nagpatattoo ka, kapag nagpa-body piercing ka, and also may possible na may needle stick injury ka. So, ayun. So you are not tawag dito allowed to donate. So, meron din tayong mga cases na permanent deferred talaga. So, positive for HIV, that's one. HB-Sag or the hepatitis B confirmed, hepatitis C, and also the anti-HBC. Hormone administration, but I would like to highlight the Dora Mater graph. Sa Dora Mater graph kasi class, ito yung cases na yung pinopromote dati na growth hormone na vial. So somehow those growth hormone kasi is extracted siya from the cadavers and nalilink siya sa uh, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease na transmission. But now, may mga bagong growth hormone na vial naman na nagiging recombinant and na-eliminate niya yung risk. But again, just to be safe, no, and syempre, somehow it is related to the biochemical that happens in our body. So, I suggest wag na minom ng ganyan. So, if you are somehow have a lot of money, so go on, go on. So, you have the freedom naman. So, okay, move na tayo. Ayan. So, deferred due to medication. So, there are a lot of, or there are certain medication class that can cause you, um, can lead to deferral. Okay, so here are the list. Okay, next is mga important reminder for deferral class. We also have kapag may history sa malaria, automatic 3 years ka deferred. Live in an endemic country for 5 consecutive years, 3 years siya from the departure. Travel to the endemic area, ayan, 1 year from the departure. Diagnosed with CGD, indefinite siya, and indefinite or permanent deferral siya, sorry. Permanent deferral. Case of leishmaniasis, that's 12 months. And cancer or leukemia, that's indefinite. Okay. Next naman natin is more on the phlebotomy and aseptic techniques. So remember class, arm preparation lang kapag kasi ready na magkuha ng dugo. Wag naman siguro natin pagtripan si patient, no, kawawa naman masyado malaki kasi masyado yung needle natin tapos sa pinagtitipan pa natin. So the proper way to collect blood during the blood donation is first mag-apply tayo ng tourniquet with a pressure of 40 to 60 mg. Yan. And then, i-identify natin yung, tawag dito, yung site, no, venipuncture site. Class, always the median site kapag blood donation. Okay, kapag hindi medyo visible ang median, uh, you can go for the cephalic area. Okay? So, ayan. So, kapag na-identify mo na yung mga veins class or the venipuncture site, you can now apply the 0.7 iodophor and then apply ka naman ng 10% povidone iodine para ma-make sure na walang contamination na mangyayari once na ma-insert mo yung needle. So, take note class, beginning at the intended venipuncture site and continuing outward in a concentric spiral covered with a dry sterile gauze insert with 16 gauge needle. So reminder lang din class kapag nagko-collect tayo ng dugo is that the usual donation time for individuals is around 8 to 12 minutes. Okay, 8 to 12 minutes siya. Okay, that's the ideal time for whole blood na collection. Pero kapag yung blood collection class nag-exceed ng 15 minutes, hindi na siya pwede or the whole bag, it is not anymore suitable for preparation sa mga platelets, sa frozen plasma, and also for cryoprecipitate. Kasi nga, yung mga clotting factors and platelets is na-deteriorate na due to sa delay sa processing. So, take note of that. Next is mga adverse donor's reaction and appropriate treatment. So, sometimes kasi di talaga may iwasan sa blood donation class, nagkakaroon ng weakness, sweating, dizziness, and also pallor, nausea, and vomiting, no, after sa blood donation. So, kapag magkakaroon ka na ng cases class, just take note that remove the needle and also the tourniquet, then elevate yung legs ante. And kapag nagkakaroon ng twitching, have them cough. And kapag nagkaka-hematoma, okay, kapag nagkaroon ng hematoma, apply the pressure for about 7 to 10 minutes. Then, apply tayo ng ice sa area of venipuncture for 5 minutes. Okay? So, kapag nagkakaroon din ng jet-like pulsating bleeding with a bright red na blood, immediately discontinue yung blood collection, then mag-apply tayo ng pressure. Okay? So, ayan. So, post-donation, so anong gagawin kapag after sa donation mo? Suggest suggest the individual to avoid smoking, and then avoid then na mag-intake ng alcohol, because alcohol has a inhibiting factor sa livers natin. So, basically, di ba, after kasi sa blood donation, yung katawan natin mag-compensate siya ng blood. So, it will recycle those other components. So, let's suggest to avoid the alcohol. No. Next is drink more fluids class para din ma-replenish yung ating mga body fluids sa katawan. So, ayun. Next is yung labeling of the blood bags. Okay? So, mayroon tayong labeling. Pero, ngayon kasi ang ginagamit na talaga is the ISBT 128. That is the most commonly used na pang-labeling sa blood bags. Okay? Ayan. And then, for serologic testing, we have the ABO, the RH typing, antibody screening, and then screening test for infectious diseases. So there was a recall question regarding with the serologic testing on March 2025. So which of the following tests though is not routinely performed on the donor blood in the Philippines? Class, the correct answer would be CMV. Hindi ginagamit or hindi natin routinely tinetest ang patient for CMV infection. Okay? So the correct answer will be letter B, CMV. So I hope you have a good time, and that's all for our lecture.